Hi.
Hi. So I'll start by introducing myself. So my name is Glenn. I'm Canadian. I live in Ecuador. I'm a photographer, also an English teacher. Can you tell me about yourself?
My name is Dương. I'm 17 now, and I'm a high school student. I like playing sports and reading books. So I come here to practice conversational skills. That's pretty much all of it.
Okay. So where do you live?
Uh, I live in Vietnam.
Okay.
I I'm currently living in Chuse province. It's not a city. I live in like in the countryside, in the highlands. Yeah,
Do you prefer living in the highlands in the countryside, or would you rather live in the city?
yeah. I think if uh if I'm allowed to choose, I think I would want to live in the countryside because it's very peaceful and people are very friendly and so on. The air, the food are much healthier, but I think the problem is if I want to make more money to afford to supporting my family in the future, I would have to go to the city. So yeah,
So do you think the money that you would make going to the city makes up for the lack of clean air and clean food? So do you think they weigh each other out, or is there some point where having lower money and a healthier lifestyle is more important?
yeah, I didn't I haven't thought of it, but yeah, maybe having a healthier lifestyle is much better. Yeah, but like I said, living in the countryside, there are not many jobs to do. Even if you have a, certification, have a I mean career degree. Yeah,
Yeah. So even if you have a degree, now what about getting jobs on the internet? What about working through the computer? If you're going to work in a job that has uses a computer, can you do it in the countryside as easily as you can do it in the city?
if in the future when everything is much more modern or I mean everything is more connected and people can work everywhere uh, as long as they have a computer and internet connection. Then I will live in the countryside because yeah, I have money, I have good food, uh, fresh air, and so on. I think everyone will go to the countryside and then. But yeah, I don't think that Vietnam is like modern enough, like uh, developed enough to. Uh, I mean, the internet job here in Vietnam hasn't developed that much, and only with a laptop and internet connection, I cannot afford enough money to support my family. Maybe now and even in the near future.
Okay. Um, so, what are your goals? Do you plan to go to higher education? So, do you plan to go to university? And what do you plan to study? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you see for the next 5 years?
Yeah, I think I would go to the university learn and study, do research, and so on to like improve myself first. And the time in college is even more valuable when I can learn how to be more independent, learn how to stop relying on my parents, and also learn some life experiences like how we buy things with good prices, how to choose healthy food, and so on. Someone said that spending 4 years in college is not worth it, but some, in my opinion, I think it's very good for everybody to go to the college. So I
Yeah.
think I go to the college. And
Um, but
yeah,
what is it you would like to study? So do you want to study engineering? Do you want to study accounting,
yeah.
business? What do you want to study in college?
I want to study business, marketing,
Okay.
marketing businessman, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause I like talking. I like meeting new people and selling things. Because my parents, they also have a small business, so I can learn from them, and I know many like tricks in trading.
Okay. So so what type of business do your parents own? What do they do?
They buy and sell shoes. We have a small store here in the market,
Right?
and we sell them every day. And thanks to my parents' business, I can. I mean, I know many types of people, many like um, the characters, whether they are easy at buying things or not, and so on.
Okay. So by working in your parents' shoe store, you've learned how to negotiate with people and how to find out who's going to buy things.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a really great insight that a lot of businessmen take a lot of time to learn. So knowing that can help you a lot. Now, what type of business do you want to get into? Do you like shoes? Do you like dealing with shoes and clothing? Or would you rather get into something larger like motorcycles or even more important like real estate? Where do you think you'd like to
yeah.
go? What business would you like to get into?
I think I would like to do the trading, international trading business. There are no limitation at the variety of goods. Like I can trade everything, and also I want to major in the foreign. I mean, the I don't know how to describe it in English.
Okay. So the foreign relations or the foreign trading. So you'd like to deal with international trading. I mean,
Yeah,
your English is very good, so being able to trade in English is good.
yeah,
Now, I've been asking you a lot of questions. Do you have questions for me?
yeah. Let me see. So, what are your hobbies?
So my hobbies are walking on the beach and photography. I spend most of my time doing photography.
Wow. I saw. I mean, I know a man, a friend of mine. He took a picture every day. He was inspired by a TED talk, so
All right.
he took a picture, takes a picture every day, and it's very convenient because when he takes picture every day, he doesn't have to write the diction. I mean, daily. Uh, I don't remember.
So
Like
the diary. So he doesn't do a diary. He just does a picture every day.
yeah, diary. Yeah, and he still remember everything. He can talk all the time with many subjects, with many stories to tell. So I think geography is very great.
Yeah,
Photography. I mean,
yeah, yeah. Photography. So you can say it photography, or you can say photography. You can say it both ways, but usually we say it photography. So I
yeah,
take a photograph, but I do photography. It's one of those words we change the pronunciation depending on usage.
yeah. So, do you read books
Yes, I
or
do
what?
read books. Most of the time now, I read books on my iPad. Before I left Canada, I had a very large library, but I gave it all away, so everything is now on my iPad. I miss reading real books. I like reading paper books, but I don't have
Yeah,
them here.
yeah, me too. Cause when I read books on my smartphone, it's my eyes. They can't handle the tension. Cause
Right,
yeah, uh, when I spend like 1 hour, 1 hour reading a book, I really want to continue reading it, but my eyes they feel numb maybe.
right.
So I hate it. And also I don't want to do any harm to my eyes. So I have to go to the library like very recently, very usually
Very
to
regular. I have to go to the library very regularly.
yeah regularly.
Okay.
So even though the library is very far away, and I have to 40 minutes ride maybe. I have
Okay.
to
So 14 or 4T?
40
Okay.
minutes.
Yeah. So this is important when you're pronouncing things like this is 14 and 4T is I
Yeah,
really, really need to hear the end to let me know what it is. And that's the thing about English words is sometimes the ending sound is so important. And that's a problem for Vietnamese people because they don't always put the endings on the word. So when you're doing numbers, make sure you hit that ending, the 4T. Now you don't I'm hitting it really hard by T, but just E at the end as opposed to N. So 14 versus 4T. So just
yeah,
hitting that end is very critical.
yeah. Okay. So
Um, so, so if you're in a situation and you're talking to somebody and you want to make sure that you're doing the difference between 14 and 4T, what can you do?
yeah, I think I will lengthen the sound of uh, the the last the last sound of the T and T.
Yeah. So that's one thing you can do. But also when you're talking on the internet and it doesn't, so what you can do instead of saying 4T minutes, so it takes me 40 minutes to go there, say it takes me 45 minutes or
Yeah,
43 minutes or something. So, I mean, the difference between 40 minutes and 45 minutes, it isn't all that much. But the communication, if you say it takes me 45 minutes, I know exactly what you mean instead of, did he say 14 or 40? I don't know. But if you say 45, so that's why when you hear English speakers saying something, is they say, it takes me 5 minutes. It takes me 45 minutes. It takes me 65 minutes. The reason they put that 5 there is so that you know what it is. It's a trick that English speakers use, and they don't even know they use it. They put the 5 on the end so you know exactly what it is. So it's not 40 minutes for you to get to the library, it's 45 minutes. And then I know exactly.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
Okay.
Get
So and that's why people say that it always takes me 5 minutes to do something, because 5 is a number that is easy to understand.
yeah.
So what do you do in your spare time?
I like my hobbies. They are playing sports and reading books. So that's that's the thing I do when I have a spare time.
So do you work in your parents' store a lot? Do you work in the market a lot with your parents?
Yeah.
It's when is the busy time?
I think the busy time. It's not about the specific time in a day. It's a time in a season. Like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every time in the day is the same.
Okay.
Only the when it's when there is less customer is when we have a meal like lunch, dinner, and breakfast and so on. But
Right.
the busy time is when there's about to have festivals or have occasions and so on, like Tet holiday, um, student season, which students get back to school after the summer vacation and so on. And on these days, there are always many customers in the shop. So yeah, that's
Okay. So who are your customers? Are your customers people who come in from the villages around your city? Are your customers the people who live in your city? Who are your customers?
um, my place is a little special. I think um, people around my place, even though I live in a big town, it's a province but very big. And however, people they tend to buy everything online now because
Okay,
online business is becoming very popular now.
right,
So most of the customers they are passengers from all over the country. They go through the streets
right.
like uh, they traveler tourists and so on. They go through my town and they stop to buy shoes and things they need for their trip, like gloves, hats, and so on. So despite living in a very big town, I most of my customers are people from other places.
Okay, so online shopping is affecting your regular customers, so it's just passing
Yeah,
through. Okay. Our time is just about up, but it's been very good talking to you. Your English level is very good. You're a very good English speaker, and very impressive. And I hope to talk to you again soon. I hope this has been useful for you.
yeah, it's a nice talk, and yeah, maybe someday we will meet again. So
All
have a
right.
nice day. Bye.
Bye.